Marriage is a lifetime commitment. Now, gone are the days when people used to fall in love. These days, we walk into love. So when it comes to marriage, it's not something that you should rush into. Remember, this is somebody that you've met as an adult, meaning you grow up separately. Probably you have different cultures. Probably you went to different schools, meaning you have different education backgrounds. So it's not something that you should rush getting into. In this video, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be giving you or sharing with you some of the most important 6 tests that you should do as a couple before getting or before walking into a marriage. Well, my name is Palm Oil, aka GCP, and you are welcome to my YouTube and TikTok, depending on which platform you are watching me from. In case you find that topic already interesting, helpful, how about you go right ahead and subscribe if you're watching from YouTube, and if you're watching from TikTok, please give me a follow. Now, don't you dare move because we'll be right back in a bit. Keep watching. So test number 1 is the HIV and the STD test. Now, we all know that life is wealth. I mean, even the most poorest person in the entire world, as long as they are alive, as long as they are healthy, then there is hope for a better tomorrow. So before you walk into that marriage, it's very important that you go for an HIV test. Now, once you realize that one of you or the other partner is HIV positive, then it helps you make a decision. I mean, we've seen people who, even after realizing that their partner is positive, they still choose to continue with the marriage. Now, the beauty about you knowing the other person's status is that you find means of protecting yourself. You find means of living together in a more better way, okay, as compared to when you walk into this marriage without knowing that the other person is positive, because in the process, you can actually also contract that disease. But when you know that the other person is positive and you are negative, you can choose to find a way of playing things smoothly, or better still, you may choose to walk out of the marriage. And when it comes to the STD, we all know that STDs are treatable. But the challenge is that most of us, when we get or when we contract these STDs, we take long going for medication. So it's important that you take a test before you to walk into that marriage. Test number 2 is the fertility test. Now, especially if you are Africans who believe in giving birth to your own children, then trust me, it's very, very important to go for a fertility test. Now, it's unfortunate that in Africa, most times when a couple fails to have children, the blame is always put on the woman. So the man's family will come onto the woman. You're barren, you're useless, you're eating our son's food, you're just filling the toilet. I mean, they would say lots of things on the woman, not even thinking that that is a possibility that their son or that the guy could be the one that is infertile. So it's very important that before you walk into this marriage, you go for a fertility test. Now, once you do this, the man fertility test, whereas the woman will have a pelvic scan. Now, once this is done, then the doctors will confirm whether the both of you are good to go or one of you has a problem. Now, remember, when you detect a problem at an early stage, it's kind of easier to get a solution compared to when you do it at the very, very last moment. So please make sure you go for a fertility test before you walk into that beautiful marriage. And next test, number 3, is the blood group test. Now, surprisingly, most of us don't even bother to know our blood group. You can imagine, most of us never even bother doing it. Actually, we think that such things are for the whites or such things are for the rich. You too need to know your blood group. Now, before you walk into this marriage, it's very important that you two go and test and find out what your blood group is. Now, you could be having blood group A, blood group AB, blood group B, blood group 0. I mean, whatever it is, you need to know. Now, the beauty about having a blood group test is that it helps the both of you know whether or not you are compatible. So it's really, really important. And once you are detected that you are not compatible, then you will be advised accordingly, and you will avoid things like unnecessary miscarriages. Our next test number 4 is the genotype. Now, this is more of medic, and I have slight idea about it, but I'll still give the little that I know about this point. Now, what I know is that when couples are detected to have the same genotype, most times it is not a good thing, okay? So it could be that you both have SS or you both have AS, then it's not a good thing. But once you go for the test, then the doctors can advise you accordingly, okay? Now, when you do not go for this test and you have the same genotype, then that is a problem. Now, just imagine if you are a parent or you're a mother, and then you get married to somebody who is having the same genotype like you, and then tomorrow you give birth to a child who is a sickle cell anemic. Just imagine. Now, the pain that that child will go through their entire life, you may not be able to forgive yourself, especially if you are a mother. Now, we all know how we women are attached to our children, the love that we give them, the care that we give them, and how much we want the best for our children. Now, just imagine you knowing that this child is going through all this just because you guys did not go for a genotype test. So, my dear, watching this video, make sure before you walk into that marriage, go for a geno test. Our next test, number 3, is the blood group test. Now, surprisingly, most of us don't even bother to know our blood group. You can imagine, most of us never even bother doing it. Actually, we think that such things are for the whites or such things are for the rich. You too need to know your blood group. Now, before you walk into this marriage, it's very important that you two go and test and find out what your blood group is. Now, you could be having blood group A, blood group AB, blood group B, blood group 0. I mean, whatever it is, you need to know. Now, the beauty about having a blood group test is that it helps the both of you know whether or not you are compatible. So it's really, really important. And once you are detected that you are not compatible, then you will be advised accordingly and you will avoid things like unnecessary. Now, our next test, number 5, is the medical chronic condition. Now, when you go for this test and you find out that probably the other person has chronic diseases that maybe you are not okay with, you may still decide to either cut off the relationship, or at least it will give you an idea of how to go about the situation. Yeah. The other thing is that when you go for this test, for instance, if you find out that the other person has diabetes or they have blood pressure, then there is a way you are supposed to manage. For instance, maybe they are not supposed to take sugar or they are not supposed to take lots of salt. Now, when you have this test, then it becomes easier for you to manage. Probably you will now have to make 2 meals, he's separate and you're separate. Yeah. So when you take this test, then you get to know that. And lastly, test number 6 is the mental health test. Now, most times we do not take this serious, but trust you me, it is important. Now, the challenge with this area is that when someone has this condition or this problem, most times you physically cannot see the signs and the symptoms until maybe you've stayed with this person for long, until maybe something has triggered the condition, you may not be able to find out. However, it's important that you try as much as possible to find out this person's mental health. Now, mad people are not only the ones that are on the street walking naked, eating dirt. The people that you see walking on the street, you see and you feel that they are normal. But when they are triggered, when their condition is triggered, my God, you can't imagine how crazy these people or this person can get. It could be that when this person gets mad, the way that she reacts to the condition, maybe she'll get anything around them and hit you, or they could be the kind of people that that can easily get depressed, or when something depresses them, the way they respond to the condition is not an easy way. Okay, so it's important that you check this person's mental ability before you walk into that marriage. Well, my ladies and gentlemen, those are the points that I had for you today. And trust you me, if you follow this test before walking into that marriage, then definitely you will have an enjoyable and a beautiful marriage. Well, thank you for watching. If you watched up until the end, that is for you. Before you get off, please do me the honor of subscribing or following, depending on which platform you are watching it from. And please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. That will help my video go viral. And also leave a comment. Let me know what you think about today's topic and what more do you want me to do for you. Thank you once again. I've been Palm Oil, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.